friends, welcome to Answell. This is the 102nd episode in the geography series. So today we're going to talk about another nation, and that nation is the one and only Laos. So Laos. But why did I pronounce it Laos? But it should be pronounced as Laos, right? But the S is silent. S is silent. Then why did they even put the S in there if it's silent? Yeah, okay, but let's just begin. So first, as usual, we're going to start with the outline of the nation. Okay, Laos. Now a small but yet thick line, and yeah. So this is the nation of Laos. So now we're going to see the bordering nations of Laos. Okay, so to the west there is Vietnam, slithery snake known as Vietnam, not literally but figuratively, Vietnam. Next, in the north there is China, a small but yet existent border with China. While to the east there is Burma or Myanmar, whatever you wish you can call it, BU/MY. And down south there is Cambodia. And finally to the southeast there is there is Thailand. Yeah, so these are the nations that border the nation of Laos. So the nation's capital, which is Vientiane, its name is pretty similar to Vietnam, is located in the heart of the nation, in the middle over here. Yes, so the nation has a population of, guess it, 7.75 million people, while it has a land area of 286.8 thousand square kilometers. Yeah, okay. So the population, the 7.75 million people, makes it the 103rd largest nation in population, of course, and its land area makes it the 82nd largest nation in the world. Yeah. So now let's just kind of discuss about the geography. So most of the border with Thailand consists of the Mekong River. It just passes through like this, but I'll use blue because water makes up rivers. Yeah, so most of the border goes through the Mekong River, while there are still many hills over here, including there are a few plateaus in Laos itself, such as the Kong Kawong Plateau in the north, and then a few more plateaus down south. Yeah, there's also another mountain range between Vietnam and Laos, making the border up. This is known as the Annamite mountain range. Yeah. So it's more like a hill range, but there are of course mountains in there too. Yeah. So most of the nation is just covered by rainforest and forests. Yeah. Not just figuratively, literally as well. So there are many different cities over here in the north, in the south. But even though there are a few cities, and so much land, so much land covered with trees, so much rainforest. There's only only 4% of the land is fertile. Is like we can use it to make farms. Yeah. So the main cultivating crop is, guess it, what grows in these types of climates? The one and only rice. Yeah. So while only 4% of the land area of the nation is fertile, if only 0.3% of its land area is actually used by farmers. Yeah. So they need to start expanding. But even though there is a small amount of land dedicated to farming, there are still, 80% of the people in the nation are farmers. Yeah, there's only 0.3% of land that is dedicated to farming. What is this sorcery? Yeah, and also along with this, around half of the nation's GDP, the economy, comes from farming, cultivating and selling the rice, of course. Yeah. So look at those ratios. There's a small amount of land for rice and a huge amount of population cultivates this rice. Yeah. And along with that, 77.5% of the population depends on selling rice. Yeah, they depend on it. Without selling rice, they can't have a livelihood. Selling rice is their livelihood. Yeah. So, okay. Now let's just talk about the languages and the ethnicities. So the main language spoken here is, guess it, Lao. Yeah, there's a language called Lao. So Lao makes up the largest percent of the language, along with most of the ethnicity, like 53%. Not like, there's not a lot of them, but it's still 53%, making it a majority. Simple. Then there are other groups such as the Khmers, the Hmong, the Thai without the H, the Ponthai, and so many more groups and language speakers which inhabit Lao. Yes, and before we talked about rice. Yeah, of course, there's a lot of rice cultivated there. But out of all of these southeastern nations in the Indo-Chinese Peninsula, and there are so many different varieties of rice cultivated in Laos itself. Yeah. So, in the International Institute of Studying Rice, not exactly dedicated to studying rice, that means the people there study rice. Yeah. It is located in the Philippines. Yeah, the Philippines. So the Lao government literally works with them to help them find how many varieties of rice there are in Lao. Yeah. So now let's just go over a brief history of the nation. So at the start, not exactly from the start, but when the separate nation as Laos began. So there was a starting nation known as the Laos Kwan, something around that. So this kingdom used to inhabit this region over here. Wait, I'll use green, another color. Okay, this region over here. Yeah. So this was once under the Laos Kwan. But after that, like in 1707, it would become separate into 3 different nations. Vientiane being one of them, next being Langpong, and the other being Chakpak, something along those names. Not exactly. Okay. So a few centuries later, yeah, colonizers will come, such as the French. And who would colonize this area? The one and only French. Up till 1953, the French kept this area, French Indochina, under their rule. Yeah. But in 1953, Laos would break free. It would become an independent nation for the first time. So when it became independent, it was a monarchy for most of its time period. Until 1975, where a civil war made it a republic. Yeah. So, but finally in 1991, a new constitution was made for the nation and it became a communist nation after the fall of communism. How? Yeah. So, this makes Laos one of 5 communist nations in the whole world. Yeah. And so, before we go, I'm going to draw the flag of Laos. Okay. Let's draw the border. So in the middle there's blue, there's a white sun representing the sun. Okay. And outside there was red. Yeah. So this is for today about the nation of Laos. Bye.